Welcome on to Business and Leadership Stories. And we're proud to say that we've traversed 19 weeks, and this is week number 20, episode number 20. And all of this would not have been possible without the Story Co. Organization run by Sachin Bhandary and Ranjani Subramanian. And Sachin has been coming in diligently week after week, giving us these wonderful business stories. The format is very simple. He narrates a business story, I react to it and ask him what would be the all-important marketing or communication lesson that we can draw from that business story. And it's just a simple fact that we can keep in our mind while we go about our daily business. But I tell you, if it is implemented, it could be life-altering. We've talked about a Tata leader's disappearing act. We've talked about what you didn't know about Shark Tank's Vinitha Singh. We've asked the question, are geeks better at sales? We've taken Obama's lesson for founders and leaders. We've taken Tanmay Bhatt's stand-up secret sauce, and it all started with Bengali Mithai's Bengaluru connection. And there he is, back for the attack, Sachin Bhandary, a business story coach and trainer. How are you, my friend? Many congratulations on the 20th episode.
Thank you. Wish you the same, Hrishi. As a celebration, I'm having beer while we are speaking. Just kidding. There's water.
Sachin, this is fascinating. A business head turned into a 14-year-old on stage. And we're talking Ravikant, who's the head of business at a leading apparel company. And this is a speech he delivered last year at his company's annual offsite.
So, Ravi was supposed to deliver a speech at an annual conference. And he was not just supposed to deliver a speech. He was supposed to talk about the value of deliver. Right, so that was one of the values of the company, and we worked together. And he went up on stage eventually after my coaching, and he narrated this story of how when he was in ninth standard, he almost flunked maths as a subject, and his teacher and his principal gave him a real dressing down, called his father. He was very embarrassed, and then when he was going back home on the scooter with his father, probably a Bajaj Chetak or something, and he was sitting in the back seat, he felt so sad that his father had to come and go through all of this, that he decided that he is going to work really hard and do well in the upcoming 10th standard examinations, which is what he did. He in fact became one of the toppers in class after being one of the students who was written off by the principal and the teacher. Now, that's an interesting story, but Ravi then went on to say that this is the same feeling I had back in 2020 when COVID arrived. Our CEO told me that I think there would be no option but to go ahead and shut a few stores. Now, Ravi was someone who spent a lot of time in stores across the country, across the nation. It's a very big brand, well-known brand. And he had interacted with a lot of store staff. So he knew what a store means to some of the store employees, because that's their avenue, that's their sort of gateway to a better life, to be able to interact with better people, to be able to improve their livelihoods and of their families. And he just could not come to terms with the fact that any of these stores would be closed. And he somehow on a whim told the CEO that, you know what, we are not going to shut even a single store because of COVID. The CEO wished him luck, and since after that, while all of us were like, doing Instagram reels and cooking with our families while we were all inside our homes, not being able to go outside, Ravi would diligently get into his work office in a small room in his house at 9 in the morning and step out at 10 in the night. And he was on the go, like almost through the day, negotiating, renegotiating with real estate developers, with mall owners, etc., so that the rentals were something that we would become sustainable. Sometimes he used his charm, other times he used strong arm tactics, but eventually he and his team successfully managed to renegotiate rentals everywhere. And he then on stage said that today we have not shut a single store because of COVID, whereas a lot of other brands have had to do that. And of course, people really felt the emotional moment there. But he then went on to say that, people ask me about how to deliver really well. You can deliver well when you're doing things not just for yourself, but for people that you work, for people's lives that you touch. And so for me, the only motivation was to make sure that none of our store staff has to go back to a life which they do not desire. And that was my motivation. And if you keep that same motivation, you will probably deliver better than I do. And I've heard that he got a standing ovation from the crowd, and I'm sure that it was deserved. So yeah, that's the story.
That is a remarkable story. What's the lesson, the business, marketing, communication tip that we can take away from that story?
Rishi, yes, good one. I mean, it's something that I'm a very big advocate of. I think in business, we tend to think that, oh, you know what, I'm not going to share any personal stories because that's not a space I want to get into. While, there's some truth in it, the actuality or what works or doesn't work is more nuanced. As long as your personal story is able to deliver a business message, you can narrate a personal story. In fact, a personal story is way more powerful than any of the other, assertions and logic and all of these things that you can do. When Ravi spoke on stage that afternoon, and he got so many people, so a bunch of them were young 20-year-olds who had actually joined the company during COVID, so they had no sense of community. Because they had always worked online. But I'm told that after the speech, a lot of them started feeling one with the company and its mission. And also, they started feeling a kind of connection with Ravi, despite he not having the time to speak to each and every one of them. So personal stories are important. And that's something I think a lot of business people or business leaders and founders need to nail the art of how to narrate a good personal story for a specific situation and message.
Win with stories. A really insightful newsletter. That's what Sachin Bhandary puts out on LinkedIn. It's life-altering. Go and check it out. Lots of lessons to learn from that. Also, if you want to hire him as a consultant, he's open to doing that. If you want him to come in and do some workshops along with the Story Co., which is his company, they will enhance your business storytelling skills. They will give you insights which the average Joe will not be able to. That's what experts are all about. How can people reach out to you, Sachin Bhandary?
Thanks a lot, Hrishi. I've always thought of myself as average Joe. Today something changed.
Not anymore. Not for a moment, my friend.
Yes, Hrishi, it's very simple to get in touch with me. I'm on LinkedIn. I'll write fairly regularly on the platform. Look for Sachin Bhandary. So Sachin is easy. Bhandary is Bhandary. On my profile, there's a link which says get in touch or stay in touch. So use that to subscribe to my newsletter. Book my time if you want to actually get some workshops or programs done for your enterprise. But if you're somebody who's an individual learner and want to improve your own storytelling skills, I run 3 live online courses every month. Story Punch for marketing and content, Founders Pitch, which is for founders and entrepreneurs. And if you are somebody who wants to discover and showcase your expertise, especially by writing on LinkedIn, then you can join my course called Ace LinkedIn with Stories. Yeah.
Super stuff, and I look forward to catching up with you next week for episode number 21 of the Business and Leadership Stories. Thank you, Sachin. Bye-bye.
Look forward to it. Thanks. Bye.
94.3 Radio 1.